like for a limited reason, and secondly, Dinabandhu, and third one is Monjai. There's a evolve. That he was evolving and he was growing. He was growing as an actor. In Roro Binale, that was the ultimate. Why I say ultimate? He played the role of a blind singer. Normally in contemporary, if you look at the contemporary Indian cinema or world cinema, when a director assumes the character of a blind man, normally a blind person is given the black glass to assume that he is blind. But in that particular film, Zubeen himself said that Zubeen he's unpredictable. No? He may come at every single moment and say, no one can believe. I also believe that unpredictability in every single moment. So, Rhoda Pinale, for the role of a blind singer, he used lens. When he used lenses to look more blind and authentic, he could not see. Just 5% or 6% he could see only. That shows clearly his commitment and dedication for the role. But we always know him as a music composer and a singer, some other aspects where he raised his voice. But here he was diverting his point. That's the reason I was mentioning about Marlon Brando, Kamal Hassan, and Charlie Chaplin. Now I need to clarify the point. When I mention the name of three great actors, I do not put Zubeen Garg to the same tag, to the same level, to the same league. What I want to mean that they are the greatest of the great actors. I like Kamal Hassan in that sense because he is for me, he is above Amitabh Bachchan. Because throughout his film, he has acted more than 250 films. From his first film in 1958 or 1960, he made his first film as a young boy, Kalathu Kanamma. That was the first film he made, and the recent film is Thug Life. So throughout his film, he acted in 250 films, and every single film he was completely different, and he experimented acting. So for me, Zubeen, though I did not like Sikar or some other films, Rajniti or whatever films he has done, but I don't like some other films. Those are average. But I say that when I compare Zubeen with other actors, I want to mean that he has that spirit to experiment with his acting. If if he was alive, I was sure that he would have changed the very grammar of acting. Because if you look at his acting, he relies more on natural acting. This was the acting part. Now I just like to come to the point called as a director. I think you have watched some of his films that he has directed. So far, he directed 3 feature films. One, Tumimur Matumur, number 2, Mission China, and the last one is Kanchenjunga. So when I talk about, I just leave out the first film. Mission China is important because that was the first film that he dared to invest thousands of crores of rupees, and he brought back. He changed the whole pictures. He changed the whole picture of commercial space in Assam. That is the important point. In Kanchenjunga, Zubeen's inner self of Zubeen reflected through Kanchenjunga. Tumimur Mathupur, it was not reflected his philosophy. A portion of his philosophy and ideology is reflected in in Mission China. But his true philosophy, if you want to really analyze his philosophy, this film is perfect. Because in one of the scenes in the film Kanchenjunga, you'll see that when his hair is completely shaved, he stays on the bank of Brahmaputra, and as he belongs to Brahmin, he tears his thread, the sacred thread, and he shouts, I have no caste, I have no dharma, I have no religion, I am free, I am Kanchenjunga. That shows his philosophy. আৰু সময় এতিয়া কমি আহিছে, মোক আকৌ সময় আৰু ক'বলৈ মন যায় জুবিনৰ মোৰ স্পেচিফিকলি আই ৱান্ট টু সে more, but the problem is the time is very limited. আৰু মোৰ কোনো জাতি নাই, মোৰ কোনো ধৰ্ম নাই, মোৰ কোনো ভগৱান নাই, কোনোবাই যদি ষ্টাডি কৰে that will be interesting. So এইখিনিতে মই এটা লাইন খালি ক'ব বিচাৰিছোঁ। এই লাইনটো মই কৈছিলোঁ, just I like to put one line here which I used for Kamal Haasan. I said that Kamal Haasan is because he's Hey Ram. You watch the film Hey Ram. I said that Kamal Haasan is not an actor and filmmaker. He was a thinker. He was a thinker. So for me, after watching, which we normally just ignore, no? Normally ignore. So Zubeen Garg was a thinker. Now I'll let end within a few minutes. So what I have observed, which is very important for me, after 19th September, I personally was observing the whole space. There was a profound shift. The shift from collective ignorance to a new way of looking at Zubeen Garg after his demise. But now the time has come. We need the intellectual introspection to understand Zubeen Garg. মই লাষ্টত এটা কোট কৰিম, কোট কৰি পেলাই মই এণ্ড কৰিম। বহুত ক'বলগীয়া আছিলে, কিন্তু মোক যিহেতু মৰমত 10 মিনিট কমাই দিলে, মই কমাই। Last thought, just go play and it's like within 3 or 4 minutes. To understand Zubeen Garg as a cinematic text is not simply an act of admiration. It is an act of intellectual correction. We did not focus Zubeen on his intellectual areas. It is about rewriting our frameworks so that Northeast Indian cinema is not treated as marginal but as a site of theory, performance, and aesthetic innovation. If cinema, as we often say, is a text, that Zubeen Garg is the one that we have only just begun to read, and perhaps now it is time we should reread, re-evaluate carefully, critically, with the intellectual seriousness. Last line. As I look at Zubeen's philosophy, one that dare to break social norms, we must ask ourselves, should we follow Zubeen's example and question the boundaries imposed upon us? Or should we remain silent, happy to watch as passive spectator? The answer perhaps will shape not only the future of our cinema, but the future of our society. Thank you so much.
It was the word of Zubeen Garg, so I cannot help it. But we do have a bit of interaction. If anybody from the audience has any question, Yusha, could you help with the mic? Vaishali? So it is like what they word says Sheshwaya now Shesh. So yeah. So trolls and trails are there. So if the audience has any question or query to Patrada.
Hello. Good afternoon, Patada. Good afternoon, ma'am. Patada, you were recently in a university, Tishpur University, delivering a talk on documentary filmmaking. This is not so much a question on Zubinda, but something that has always intrigued me, yes. Uh, because you have made a film on Nelly, and I remember watching the documentary What the Fields Remember, which is available on public domain on YouTube. Patada, is there have you explored more? I'm sorry that I'm digressing a little bit from Zubin, but it is related to music and folk music. While watching that documentary about the fields, remember, I'm sure Patada, while you're doing your field research, is that the victims of that area uh, have now, what should I say, invented kind of little songs, tunes, which they sing to themselves about what happened. Uh,
Just I can't get the last line. Yeah.
They have created किसी गीत गाए थे उनके about just to remember about that incident. So is that have you explored a little bit about that? And since you did that talk on documentary filmmaking, I think that is very fertile ground to how to connect this to Zubinda, because that is also a different kind of grief. And this what we are discussing today is also born out of a grief, collective grief. Without politicizing, without going into the dichotomies of what we stand for, it has also created a kind of art, because a song is an art. So did you, while you were doing your field research for your movie, did you stumble upon अपनी पाइसले ने के गीत पिला तेरे जीबुर गाए?
Just let me just add one point here. So when I came from Canada, just I printed one T-shirt where it was written, "I have no caste, I have no religion." So that was important for me. So in the airport, I just put that T-shirt and shared that photograph in my social media. But after 2 months, I have realized that I should remove that post from my social media. I was forced to remove that. Post of that one. I did not remove even after I have been said to remove, but I did not remove. But I just deactivated my Facebook account. Number one. Number two, when I made a film on Nelly, so I personally, as a filmmaker, is always follow Janu Burwa sir. So, like Janu Burwa sir, I'm also a humanist. Any form of death, any form of, irrespective of caste, creed, and faith, that is not accepted. Every human being, if we are human beings, we do not want to see someone is dying, and it is very painful to see. So when I decided to reach to the people who are living there, they said some sad and tragic story that really pained me. So through my film, I did not, the way I made my documentary on Lakshmi Urang, a girl who was strict in Beltola, about another is Dhemaji tragedy, about that bomb blast, where I mentioned about, not about Alpha, but I said about the emotional side of the whole tragedy. Similarly, when I made the feature film, which are released in theaters on Nelly, so I did not want to focus on who are the victims, but I wanted to draw the line, the importance of those people who are living for a longer period of time, because they are a part of our culture. They have become a part of the larger Assamese society. That is what I wanted to say. But it was not easy for me to make this kind of films, because I have almost invested my own money. I invested 40 to 50 lakhs. So it wouldn't go. That has gone. I just own awards in different places. I got appreciation not in Assam but in other states, and and India, out of India. I got appreciations, but it was not easy for me to make those kind of films. Yeah.
Okay, is there any other question regarding Juvinda?
Hello everyone. This is just an observation because if you look at Zubeen Garg through the cinematic lens, you have to look at four aspects: him as an actor, as a director, as a producer, and as a music director. So what is very less focused on is his film music. We remember Hiadiania, we remember Dark, and so many other films. The way he projected film music and made the whole cinematic experience so wonderful, many of Monin Purva's films is also largely due to Zubeen Garg's music. The way he hummed, the way he created the background score, the way he created the songs is still remembered by many. Secondly, as a producer, which is very understated, to bring people to the halls after the insurgency actually closed down many halls is actually a remarkable achievement. And then through Mission China, through Kanchanjunga, even through Royal Binale. So I always say that Zubeen Garg dead is more powerful than Zubeen Garg alive. So he brought back people to the halls, made us watch as a cinema, and in that way also the cinema of the Northeast, the regional cinema. So that's very, very important. And as a director, I believe as an actor, you're a director's actor. And it's a popular law that Munin Borwa could guide him very well, as we saw that in Dinobandhu. And in Monja, he was himself. He was free, he was a rebel, and we all like that. I think these four aspects need to be talked about when we talk about Zubeen Garg through cinematic lens. This is just an observation. I'm sure Patoda will add more. So yeah, thank you.
Could I get your name?
Avinivesh.
Yeah, Avinivesh is perfectly correct. When I mentioned about Mission China, he was the producers. That is the third aspect he has mentioned. Yes, true.
Do you have any closing remark?
My closing remark is that it is a great honor for me that I'm here to be a part of this scholarly gathering. I have learned a lot, emotionally, psychologically, intellectually. It is an intellectual discourse, and this is for the first time that a national seminar on Zubeen Garg has been organized out of Assam. As a whole, this is the second seminar, because the first one was in my own Anshali college, that was in Morigaon. So this is the second one, but out of Assam, this is the first one. So slowly and gradually, I believe in intellectual space and academic space or cinematic space, Zubeen will be Zubeen. And I like to end when I just talk with my friends in Kolkata, then they always say that Satyajit Ray is in the DNA of the Bengali, and slowly and gradually, Zubeen will be the DNA in each and every people of Assam.
He is.
He is, yeah. Thank you.
I saw Juvinda in Guwahati University, and in one of his programs, actually I was wearing a Garo dress, and I had to leave because we had hostel timings. And he was watching with a very curious kind of eye. At that time, I didn't know that he was born in Tura, and I was also born in Garo Hills. So sometimes we feel like remember those things to see how we connect. This session, this seminar itself was, our age is supposed to be a brainstorming, because we have lots to explore regarding Juvinda as a human being, and as Avinivesh has said, actor, director, music director, singer, poet, philosopher, and producer. So multiple roles are there to for us to explore. And what Pathoda has pointed out regarding Zubeen as epoch making, that he created a fashion statement not only just in music but also in his personal life, in what he wore and how he acted as a philanthropist singer. So I think you have said that on very well, and it is nice to know about the movies, the way you are talking, actually connecting the movies, although they belong to a different genre. And Monjai is one of my favorite movies, and I'm very happy that you are mentioning about it, especially the song. You might see that almost every day I take something from that. This is like, I feel that there's a kind of Sufist connection. I told about it to Mandasar once, that Megan is like a Sufist beloved. Since I don't stay close to my beloved, so I connect very well with that movie, and the dystopian ending can always make somebody cry, which is opposite to what happens in Roy Roy Pinare. That mapping the journey of the actor, mapping the journey of the singer, the director, and the philanthropist. So you have set the tone for the seminar, and I congratulate you on that note within a short time that you could do. And this is not the ending actually. We believe that this space at IFLU would be always there to have programs, more programs on Juvinda, right Alanka? Yes. So this is just the beginning, so I welcome you again next time. Thank you so much for your time, and to the audience for your patience. Thank you.
To lead today's discourse, we require a moderator who understands both the academic rigor of communication and the cultural heartbeat. It is my distinct honor to call upon the stage Professor Manas Pratim Goswami, Head of the Department Mass Communication, NEHU. Manas sir, we invite you to take the chair and set the context for this highly anticipated panel on the life and legacy of Zubeen Garg. I would now like to call the panelists on the dais. First, Sabita Sharma, an educator and artist whose work resonates with the very creativity we're discussing today. Ma'am, please. Next, I invite Joyanta Bordoloi. Joyanta sir is Zubeen Garg's classmate and first manager. Joining us also is Dr. Pallavi Devi from the Department of Law, Guwahati University. Her upcoming work with Bloomsbury, India promises to be a definitive record for this journey. And finally, we have Avinivesh Sharma, Managing Trustee of Vintage Hub Jorhat, a guardian of the history we are about to delve into. Before we delve into the discussion, we wish to honor our distinguished guest. I now urge our volunteers to come to the dais to felicitate our moderator and our esteemed panelists as a token of our gratitude. We'll first felicitate our moderator, Professor Manas Pratim Goswami. We welcome Mrs. Sabita Sharma, educator and artist. We welcome Mr. Zoyanta Bordoloi. We welcome Dr. Pallavi Devi. We welcome Mr. Abhidevesh Sharma. Thank you. I now hand over the proceedings to our moderator, Professor Manas Pratim Goswami, to initiate this reflective session.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, in the previous speaker, it said that we have got limited time. So right now, I believe around 12:45. Am I right? So we'll try finish it off by 1:45 because by that time lunch will be also ready, and people must be also angry. Oh, sorry, hungry. Indirectly, I'm trying to say the same thing. So first of all, I would like to thank Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, FLO, for giving me this opportunity alongside the responsibility to talk to some distinguished personalities who have already proved their mettle in the industry and they have already done great things. And it will be very interesting, I believe, to know first-hand information to understand Zubeen Garg and his legacy, because we have got a versatile figure here sitting alongside me. First one, Madam Savita Sharma. She is basically a cousin of Zubeen Garg, so it's like family relation, and a significant event associated with her. She sang Zubeen Garg sang the first duet with her, and the last also for Roy Roy Binale. So it's a very significant thing, and she is itself it's a very versatile singer in SB's music industry, and we have been listening to her from the childhood itself. So thank you very much for joining in this particular session. And next to her is Mr. Jayanta Bodoloi. Even though he is from Jorhat, even I am also from Jorhat, but I never met him. But today when I was having some kind of conversation in the tea time, I got to know that he has done a lot for Assamese cinema, and in fact, he is a great author. He has written book, he is a versatile personality, and most importantly, he knows Zubeen very closely. And there's a reason behind this, because he told me he was a science student and Zubeen also a science student, and there is a very famous college in Jorhat, I think many may know, that is called JB College, and it became university recently. So they are close buddy. So I hope that we are going to have some first-hand information, first-hand understanding of Zubeen from the early period. So thank you very much for joining, Mr. Jayanta Bodoloi. And alongside we have Dr. Pallavi Devi. She is an assistant professor in the Department of Law, Guwahati University. She is a great academician, and alongside she is a good writer. Quite often she writes for leading newspaper in Assam. I think a few days back you have written something in the editorial page of Assam Tribune. And another fact associated with her, she is a great fan of Zubeen Garg, and she has been following Zubeen Garg for a long time. And what she knows about Zubeen Garg, and with collecting some information, or maybe first-hand information, and other things from people associated with life of Zubeen Garg, she is going to come up with a book, and that is going to be published by Bloomsbury India. I think you are going to have the book by end of this year, am I right? Okay, great. So we are going to have a great book, I believe, very soon. Okay. So we are going to have a great book very soon, and after that we have got one young person. He is doing something very different. So I got to know in the morning today. In fact, a few days back I was in Mizoram, and somebody was mentioning about, because I am also interested to do something about Shillong. I'm looking for some people. Then she told me that there is one person, he is clicking some photograph, or he is preserving some artifacts of Shillong. So today I got the opportunity, but he has got a one musico cafe in Jorhat, and he is trying to bring some, trying to preserve the cultural heritage of Assam and other parts where Assamese were there. So this is a brief introduction I have given, but they're quite versatile, and we have got very limited time. So without wasting time, okay, Madam Savita, as I got to know a little bit of research from the research that you are basically relative of Zubeen Garg, right? First cousin, great. And you sang many songs with Zubeen Garg, and while having tea also you told me about many albums that you worked together, right? And Zubeen first duet was with you only. So it's a very significant thing. So I just wanted to know, I mean, so can you recall the preparation, singing, and recording of the early 90s duet with him, as well as several romantic songs that you had in a musical collaboration with Zubeen Garg in his sunrising years. So kindly tell us something about, so that we can have some good stories about how he used to prepare himself and how you used to work together with him.
Down memory lane, I can remember the early periods of his journey. He started his journey at 90s, and his mentor was my elder brother Utpal Sharma. So he used to go to our house, and he loved to be there. And sometimes from his home, everyone used to call, your mother is sick, please come urgently. Otherwise, he would not move from our house. And we are four brother and sisters. So everyone sings. My sister is a approved artist in All India Radio Diprugarh. My brother was here in Shillong as a grade composer, and my younger brother is also a approved artist, a singer. So the environment of our house was different, and my father and mother both are cultural activists, social activists that influenced Jubin. It's happened in our house only. My father and my mother both were cultural activists, and they were doing for the grassroots level of Assam to share the knowledge and their work, so that good cultural environment belong to our villages. I can remember my mother used to organize workshop. Nowadays we are organizing workshops with fund and donations and all. But my mother, she was a teacher, and she used to organize workshops at our home. And she teaches students like how to set up a stage, how to make costumes, and how to act, and how to direct dramas. And my mother used to work for village women. Now still it's going on in our area. Joymati Utsav was organized by my mom, and with those village actresses. So Jubin used to love to be at our house, and my brother used to teach him keyboard at our harmonium.
Which place in Jorhat?
Dibrugarh, Kumari Singha. So they used to practice keyboard at our harmonium. We didn't have keyboard at our place at that time. 85, 86, I'm talking about that time. And they used to practice keyboard. My brother used to teach him keyboard at our harmonium, and they used to request me and my sister, please blow the harmonium for us, we will practice. They used to practice hours and hours, and they used to talk about different cultures, different genres. And my brother was also, I think, he is guru of us. So Zubeen also followed him, like Janto can say this thing. My brother used to wear Gandhi specs,
Yes.
and he has long hair at that time. And Zubeen started following his passion, and in every single moment, he used to follow my brother and talking and discussing and learning something. So he is very curious about everything. He wanted every information. He was fond of films. He was fond of books, and we had a small library at our home, and my father, mother, and everyone used to read books. And at that time, there was no Google. And if he asked something about Hollywood films or something about new release of songs, Western songs or something, he used to get information at our home. And he used to ask, "How can you know all these things? How do you know all these things?" Like he had bought all the food he wanted to, because he was born lizard, but he has to get all the informations and knowledge about. If you meet my brother Upal Sharma, then you will find the small Zubeen Garg behind him. And at 90s, I used to sing for stage shows and all, and I was learning at that time classical, and I have got Best Singer Awards for 3 colleges, and one is state level competition. I got Best Singer Award, and he got to know that. And his friend Mayur Sharma, they have produced one cassette at the time, Popular Code. So he came to straight to me and at Dibrugarh. At the time, I was doing something. I was preparing for my exam, I think. So he came to me and he said, "We are doing one. My friend is producing one cassette, and you will have to sing for me." So he started teaching song at that moment only. Learned this song. That was Etia Podolite. It was a solo, and the duet was Kopunore Poki Ahanomitume. You may remember that song.
Yes.
It was the first duet. So like that, our journey has started. And after that, Aha. Then I have written songs for Anamika also. The
It's a very
association,
famous.
at the association of the musical journey, we started together, and up to making of Zubeen Garg. And after Zubeen Garg, I can't say anything, but it's a history. And I was there till 96.
96.
Aha was the last collaboration with him.
But you sang for the last film, I mean, that
Yeah.
Roy Roy Binale, right?
Yes.
Okay. In fact, when you were talking about him, so we could get to know that he was very sincere for everything, right? Even though he was a legend, but but he was curious about to know about everything, right? And quite often, even though I am from Jorhat, but I never met him. It's my, I did not have the opportunity to meet him. I'm unfortunate. But I used to know that, he used to have a Ranger cycle. And what was that?
I like to correct that. Actually, that's not a Ranger cycle. That was a BMX type of a bicycle that you will find in the film called E.T. by Steven Spielberg. But this type of cycle is not being produced in India. So it was an Avon cycle, and that Avon cycle was actually designed in a type of a BMX cycle. So
Okay.
he has got a fascination for BMX cycle after looking at the movie, after watching the movie E.T. And that was the cycle. The brand of the cycle was Avon.
Ever.
And it was a BMX type of a cycle, and he liked it because he liked bicycle themes, the
Oh.
bicycle themes, yes. So
Okay.
he got a fascination from buying a cycle because of that.
Okay. Thank you for correcting, but I read somewhere it's like a Ranger cycle, but it's BMX, Avon cycle. Okay, and he has got one spec which is like round in shape,
Yes.
and quite often people talk about it. Yeah, you know the story. So we'll definitely, it's going to be very interesting then. So thank you very much, and we'll come back to you, and I will request you to sing few lines also after some time. Okay. Now, oh, yeah, Mr. Janta Bodoloi, he's a veteran. He is a filmmaker, as I already told you, and most importantly, he has been his buddy, from the school time itself. And he told me that they studied together in JB College and science student, right, sir?
Yeah, actually it was 1988 that we are batch of 1988. So I think our chief guest has talked about the schooling. So his schooling was at Tamilpur. So after
Yes.
chief guest left, we took the part actually, and we became the students of JB College Science B stream. And at that time, JB College was the second largest best college for science stream after college. So getting an opportunity to study science at JB College, it's only the achievers can get. So we were at that we were the same class student, and that is how we started. We started. I knew him since 1988. 88. So it's in the first year itself with the same class. And the same batch also we have got a student here. Student means our batchmate. He is the orthopedics head of Negrims. So we used to come to Ceylon for that. And our journey started in 1988 and it followed actually.
Okay. So just I have a question. So how do you recall Zubeen Garg when he became a young sensation amid when Assam was going through some turmoil? It was like there was an insurgency issues where in late 80s and early 90s, and if I'm not wrong, there's some challenges regarding the regionalism was also there. And I still remember, I may be wrong also, please correct me, when we used to go to the Puja Pandal and there's some stalls were there. At that time, Hindi song was more popular, somewhere like 80s or early 90s. Yeah, but suddenly something had changed. Zubeen came and everything got changed. Now even everywhere, even when I was a student of Cotton College, we used to celebrate, say, freshers, farewell, everything with Zubeen song only. Suddenly something changed. So can you recall that period, how it changed, that, Zubeen, how he made a change to the culture of Assam?
So, I will just go a little bit backward. From the time onwards, that is 1988. Also, from if you go a little bit back from 1988, we can go to 1985. Those were the times of great turmoil in Assam. So I still remember the phrase that has been written in Tales of Two Cities. The opening lines, just like it was good of times, it was bad of times. I think it was the worst of times for us in Assam at the time. And insurgency was too much. After, in 1992, I think Operation Rhino has started, so it was the worst of time. And you can see Zubeen has emerged as a singer, as a romantic singer. So, romantic singer, in a sense, that what has happened, there was a crisis in terms of singing sensation in Assam. Jitul Sunwal, as our chief guest has told, he used to work with play keyboards with Jitul Sunwal, and he had a confrontation with him, and he came back. He didn't want to play with him, and he wanted to show him actually that what he can become. So it was a challenge for him, and he said he will show to the world that what he is, and so he did that way, and he came and he made the album. But before that, again, we have to think a little bit about what Savita has said. Savita has told us about Utpal Sharma. So at that time, we don't have any kind of a guidance. So in other sense, in one of my interviews, I have just said JB College. We got into JB College, but we don't have consolation at that time. So whether we want to become a doctor, we want to become an engineer, that was the basic part that our students are being sent for. We'll become a doctor or an engineer, not as a singer or not any kind of thing. We don't have any kind of career consolation at that time, because today it is a very fast age of digital age. So what we can do is, like today one can open up the internet and find out what they want to become. But at that time we don't have that kind of a guidance. So what we did was, we used to follow our scientific things. We want to become a BSc or something. Zubeen used to follow Utpal Sharma. So Utpal Sharma, her brother, Utpal Sharma was a great composer who used to serve in Ceylon radio. We used to come to Ceylon radio at Laimokra. I still remember those places, and it was a very beautiful place. So he wanted to become a composer as well. So what Zubeen used to do, he used to compose songs, beautiful songs. Then he used to, lend it to singers who used to sing in audio. Radio stations. Sometimes they used to write kids. Yeah, early days he used to sing her brother's song.
Okay.
So that is how he want to become actually. He want to become a music composer, not a singer. Till that time he was not being discovered as a singer. Nobody discovered him, but nobody thought that he would become a singer.
Voice was changing at that moment.
Okay.
So he came to, he used to come to our home, and we, when in our house, it was a ritual. Guests used to come and they ask us to sing. Huh? So then we used to introduce Goldie as our mama's son. He sings very well. So he used to get angry. Why do you ask me to sing? I have that sore throat. That time his voice was changing. And then we used to motivate him, we used to inspire him that wait for few 1 or 2 years, then he will get back your voice. After that, that's why he inclined to instrument, and he started playing with Luna Sonwal and Jitula. And after that, when he had a conflict with, I don't know exactly. No, and he will say.
Yeah,
Then
some
he
interesting
started,
fact we are going to have very soon.
he started. Actually, I don't want to
Reveal it.
say this those days, because I respect Jitullah also. I don't know exactly what happened, but I think I will take it in a positive note. We get the singer, Zubeen Garg, as a singer. So
Please add something.
So actually, what has happened, like no doubt, I used to say whatever is right. That way I just feel. So the digital sonal, I never met him that way. So, but yes, he was a singer. And what has happened with that was, like, at that time there was a big crisis in the Assamese film, in the music industry. If you can see, there used to be audio albums, and all the audio albums are backed by a singer from Bollywood. Whether it is Kumar Sanu or any other singer, they used to back cassettes, yes. Cassette, they has to be backed by a Bollywood singer, Bollywood voice. Maybe Kumar Sanu, maybe Udit Narayan or anyone. Then an album is being made, and the local singers, they used to push themselves through it. Assam was going through a crisis of that kind of a voice that has been required.
Yes.
And I still remember that at that time, when actually in our first meeting with Zubeen, we went for a college picnic. And it was the first batch, first time, and after 1 month of joining the college, we went for a picnic. And at that time, there was a song that's being played, and on a vehicle, we used to play a song that is called Bahut Din Hol Tumak Nedekha, and that was sang by Abhijit. And when Abhijit sang that song, it is an English song, English version. There is no originality in that. Similarly, NK Production, they were looking for a singer who could sing. So at that time, when they used to hunt at the local shows, at the Bihu Pandals. So when they were doing that, her brother, Utpal Sharma, used to sing with Santa. So in Jorhat Law College field, they're having a Bihu program. Her brother has come, and we all, because at that time I already become a member of their whole family, entire expanded family as well, their own family. So we all went together, including Jonki, who died, and her sister, that Pami will be coming tomorrow. So we went there, we shot a program, and it was a huge hit. And it was a huge hit, and NK Production has signed her brother. And that way, Anuradha has come. But at the time, Utpalda was so much, busy with the works in the All India Radio Ceylon. He told NK Production that anyone who is going to compose the song, that can be done by my cousin brother, that is Zubeen.
Okay.
So NK Production actually approached, I was there at the time, approached Zubeen with a song, just to taste. whether he can compose or not. And that song was again an English number because that was the trend at the time.
Right.
Write something from translate something from an English song and you make it,
Right.
an Assamese song, then it will be a hit. So that was their mindset of the producers at the time. So what they did was they brought a song that is called "Listen to the Rhythm of the Falling Rain." So it became Jum Golarati Henley, the same thing that Zubeen has made Linas and given it to them. And okay, he has passed the audition. That kind of a thing has happened. And after that, he has given the song. He has got a small remuneration from that. And with that remuneration, he added an FD. His mother has given an FD of 8,500 rupees, which I remember. It was not matured, but he broke that and she gave 8,500 rupees. And with that amount of money, he went to, Bombay, along with her brother, who made the album Anuradha. And with that, he made something called Anamika, where he rendered his own voice with Kavita Krishnamurti. But the thing is that at that time, NK Production has released the song very early because her brother also sang very well. Because, if you hear Utpal Sharma and Zubeen, their voices are quite similar. So, Western songs, Utpalda has introduced it to him. And in Anamika, when I had a conversation with Utpalda, he told me that in Anamika, the title song Anamika was the first Assamese soft rock.
Okay.
But
Kola has a huge experience and a huge knowledge about
Western music.
Western music. So he influenced
Zubeen. Okay. So from this conversation, we can get to know a lot of things about the early life of Zubeen and how he got into music,
yeah,
and who introduced him, and what was the scenario of Assam during that time. As you were saying, we required one Bollywood person to get an album hit in Assam, but suddenly something has changed.
Yeah, that is what it is. That when Anamika was released, the Bollywood songs, when the singer of Bollywood used to sing, they cannot actually pronounce it,
Yes.
the song Assamese language that properly as well, which is required, which can be done by a local singer. So Zubeen has given everything in one package,
True, absolutely.
and he became an overnight sensation.
Yes.
So that is how he became an overnight sensation
Overnight
because the
sensation.
voice, the mixing.
I want to add one thing. In Assam, we have a weakness for other state singer, yeah, Bollywood singers, because the title guard. Earlier he was Zubeen
Yes.
Garg.
Yes.
But when he added his title as a guard, everyone, most of the people who doesn't know Zubeen, they used to thought, oh, guard, he must be non-Assamese. Oh, how can he sing so well? How can he pronounce Assamese so well? That is was also the one of the reason now for his.
Just wanted to know one thing. What was his actual name actually? Some people say Jivan Borthakur, or what was that one? Because he had changed that as a Zubeen Borthakur. Okay, Borthakur. Okay, let's move on to Pallavi. Actually, you are writing a very important book. I think that is going to be a treasure for us. And but I want to know what actually inspired you to take up the project of writing a book on Zubeen Garg, because you are a scholar of law. I understand that you may have some passion for his song, but alongside, actually, was there any particular moment or personal experience or any existing gap that you have noticed that must have motivated you to document the life and works of legendary Zubeen Garg?
Thank you, Manash sir. You are true that I'm a faculty of law, and when we are dressed as a law faculty, we deal mostly with the structures, the egalitarian structures, the not so egalitarian structures, and we are trained to see people. When a person comes, we see the second person behind him, the other person in him. That's how our discipline trained us. So what inspired me. Like in this dais, we are 5 people, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Now all 4 are from Jorhat, right? So I'm just, if I may continue, I'm from Lakhimpur. So in 90s, when we are growing up, there was this Zubeen Garg songs in all the bylanes, in the lanes, and we are so used to it. And then we are unconscious that we are living his songs and forming our memories where we don't have words to jot down our emotions. Maybe at that moment his songs have filled up that vacuum. Now I have also raised this question to myself 100 times. How would I maintain the authenticity of a book? Because I'm an outsider. Therefore, what I asked this question have reflected a number of times. Maybe you don't know how much. But then I thought that let me use multiple narrative to jot down, because sitting here, all of us, I don't think, even if we are very closely connected to Zubeen, Zubeen is not a figure which can be fixed in a singular version, because he do not, in his life when he was living, he was resisting this fixed idea of himself. So yes, one part was when I see myself, a particular song, a particular lane, if I go through, I can only see myself, my youth, and I hope it goes for all other person, that particular song is associated with in that particular time. So that context, and it goes to everyone. And I have wrote a book on free speech. Now there is a concept called parhesia. The concept of parhesia is such that you speak, you intervene, even at your personal risk. So when I have seen Zubeen as an artist, he was not merely an artist. He was not merely an artist. He was there everywhere. I can see Zubeen Garg's moral compass everywhere. He was very free. He was not confined. He was not bothered what the consequences would be. So there was no hypocrisy at all. Maybe the society, as Pathojit have rightly pointed out, and maybe all the people very closely connected to Zubeen Garg would agree with me that we as a society, আমাৰ সমাজ ব্যৱস্থাটো কৰবাত এনেকুৱা আছিল যে we have lagged behind or may have not paid enough attention, or maybe we're not honest in understanding what he had to give to the society. Therefore, I think that even if I'm not correct, I have collected facts by having, of course, all these people sitting on the dais. I went to them for close conversation. Hemchandra Pathakda, I have to take his name. He sat down with us for 4 hours or more. And there was so much to, those things are not even there in the public forum. So I thought that why not recording them and let me play again and again, so that I can see Zubeen Garg as a full-fledged story. Life flows on. That's what, it inspired me. But again, I asked, and the book has been signed, the contract has been signed. As of now, not even half of the work has been done, but at least, something in form of chapters has been, shaped. And having conversation with all these people have helped me in understanding the person in formation, how Zubeen Garg was functioning as a boy when he was in youth, before becoming widely recognized, those personal relationships, the losses he had in his life. He lost his sister, he lost his mother, but he have And therefore, even though I'm not an insider, but as an outsider, having taking the advantage of multiple narrative, I think I'm looking Zubeen Garg to create a story which requires lot of commitment, lot of honesty. That's all.
Anyway, very interesting answer you have given it, but I would like to add few things with you. First of all, I think you are a Jorhato boy. You have got a relation, right? Secondly, you said that it is not possible to define Zubeen Garg, but from one perspective, right? He's multi-dimensional, multifaceted person. So from your perspective, we would like to see what was Zubeen Garg, right? So that's a very nice approach. And in fact, I'm not trying to say you are from outside. Every discipline is inside, and we can have different discourse from every discipline, as you have said already, right? So I think it's going to be a very interesting book.
Yeah,
And
I'd like to just point out one thing. Keneke Parhesia to free speech to Keneke engage korisile. In 2019 at Soraido Festival, he questioned when Priyanka Chopra was made the brand ambassador.
Yes.
He said that state has more to represent before the world. Priyanka Chopra is not the right person, and by saying that he knows what's the consequences
Yes.
ahead, but still he said, and he said in a raw way that it needs to be told, and he told it. So that's the parhesia. So since I wrote a book on free speech, it gave me bare bare bhitor pa eta inner call ahise je a free speech through the lens of free speech moi asolte prothomote saisilu and tar pisothe narrative bilakor kotha bhabi lolu. So that's how it came to my mind.
Great. Somewhat you are feeling it inside and you want to write it down to publish it. Okay, now next we have got a young scholar. As we know, you are basically engaged in preserving and presenting the cultural heritage to Vintage Hub, and you are a trustee over there. So how do you interpret the cultural legacy of Zubeen Garg within Assam's collective memory?
Thank you. Actually, I'm the least experienced, least qualified to sit on this stage and share this stage with such stalwarts. Some people who have been very, very close, who have seen his early years, and someone who has gone so deep. So, but the thing is that I was born in the year 1992, and Anamika appeared in 1993. So literally, I have grown up listening to the sound and music of Zubeen Garg. And especially, I remember in our youth, so my maternal family is from Guwahati, and I used to take a bus from Jorhat to Guwahati, and the bus has always either stops at Amoni or Jokhalabanda. Absolutely. So Jokhalabanda was the place where the music and songs of Zubeen Garg used to play. So all the cassette shops. So Jokhalabanda was a major destination, also Moran. So I have literally grown up listening to his music, but we took it for granted, I think. For 30 years, he died at the age of 52. But for 30 years, he had a professional career and literally single-handedly took charge of the Assamese music industry. But our memory, I think something that got expressed in my editor's note as well, is that we felt a deep sense of vacuum because it was as if like we lost our voice. So we always have a rebellious nature in our youth, and he was like the voice, but wrapped in melody. So Zubeen Garg was for us our voice, and losing him was therefore so in a sense we felt a sense of loss which cannot be described even now. So I have written in the editor's note that we literally grew up because we were born in the post-liberalization period. So burgers, pizzas were very familiar to us. But it is, coming home to have our masodenga cooked by our mom, something that took us back about a sense of peace. So even though we listen to Linkin Park or other bands, Backstreet Boys, is always a Zubeen Garg song that put us in ease and also connected us to our home. So even when I was studying in Delhi, and there was a group amongst us all from Assam, from different places of Assam. We used to sit and watch the film Hiya Diya Niya. Not only because of the theme, but also because of Zubeen Garg's music. So it connected us as a generation, and we still consider him to be our voice, the voice of our generation.
when you are talking about Jokala Undana, in early 90s, in 92, I have shifted to Guwahati University, Guwahati, and for the first recording of our first album, Hopunarpur, and we used to travel a lot by bus, night bus, and always get down in the Jokalabanda, and till then, no, our first album has not released. So Juven used to keep saying, "Eti namar gani yaat bajibo no? Kiman bhal lagibo no?" Then I used to say, "Of course, our song will be played here." So I can remember that thing.
Yeah, now, he is, known everywhere. Even, people in Delhi, people in Bangalore, people in Chennai, everywhere his music is there. So it's not like, once he thought about his music to be sung somewhere in Assam, now it's everywhere. It's a greatness about this listen. Anyway, so I would like to come back to Jayanta Bodleda. So I've got a question. You may have encountered this question many a times, but still we want to just clarify. I want to know something more from you. Even the previous speaker also said, "Mur kuno jati nai, mur kuno dharma nai." From the Assamese film Kanchanjunga, I think it was directed and he starred in that particular film. And it became a somewhat like anthem that surpasses these ethnic divides. But how do you view him evolving as a youth icon amid Assam's growing cultural and social challenges? Because as somebody has said, he is from Brahmin family, but he's shown something in the film that became a controversy. But still he prevailed in the masses and masses liked it. So can you throw some light on that?
See, what I have found, Zubeen, yeah, it's a tough question really. But what I have found, Zubeen was like, he was always, he used to be always straightforward. So that's the first point in him. So whatever he thinks, he do. So actually we nowadays have lost the habit of doing that. What we think we do, we don't do that. So what he has taught everyone is that what he thinks he do. So if we come to a point like I managed his things, as you have said, the manager, so the managing part. So I don't do that much of what other may think, but I have to think and do it later on. Zubeen used to do it without thinking. So that is how his mother has actually embedded me with him. Because as our previous speaker also has told, Zubeen is very restless. And I used to be very calm and quiet and silent. So his mother, when we went for the band, we made the band, the first formation of the band, his mother told that you will be there and you will be there. So that is how I used to be with him. That is how I met each and every one of them, got connected. And that is how what has happened, as you said about Kanchanjunga. So Kanchanjunga, that was a dialogue. Anyway, there was a dialogue on that. But the thing is that sometimes if you see, now Roy Roy Binale is there. In Roy Roy Binale, there are many scenes which I can identify because there are a lot of narrative which actually matches with Zubeen's life. So what he used to, actually he has many stories to tell, the feeling. So what I feel like, Zubeen has actually, by due course of time, with his singing, with his creations, he has created an ecosystem with the people that he used to be in touch with. And with that he became what he was. And in the films also, he has to tell the story. Being a person from a Brahmin family, like her brother, elder brother, married a tribal from, she's from Ceylon, but she is from Mizoram. He actually broke her, the secret faith. He actually broke it and threw it. Zubeen also followed that. Utpalda also talks about all this Marxism and all that stuff. And he also talks about that. So it is also like he should follow someone also that is like his elder brother. Somehow down the line he followed him also. But the thing is that the more successful is Zubeen.
I think you will be knowing marriage, Utpala and Melody. My baby's name is Melody, and that is the first Mizu marriage where Utpala was not converted, or Melody also was not converted. They are following their principles. So my father came here, Shillong, and Mizu Society has organized one meeting, and my father gave one speech, 1 hour, and asked for if you have any question. He explained three religion, Christian and Hinduism and Islam, and compared and explained everything with verse and kalima and everything. He mentioned page number also, Bible's page number also. My father was like that, and then no one questioned, and they were not converted.
Great. It's nice to know about.
I would like to add on some of the things that as I feel like culture really doesn't have any religion. Actually, it has got a process of the people. The way we ourselves grow up, the way we do our things. Different cultures are evolved that way, I feel. But I'm not that cultural expert, I'm from a field of science. So I feel that way. But the thing is that what I feel, again, in that film, what he has said, Mor kono jati nai, mor kono dharma nai. So in Jati Nai Dharma Nai, he has actually abolished the caste system. That what we find in the North Indian societies till now, I think a lot of debates are going on. But our Northeastern society itself is a very open society.
Absolutely.
So that is what is his reflection. Also, I'm also writing a little book, a little small book on Zubeen. So maybe some kind of psychology that will come, because there are a lot of things that has to be told. And in that also, maybe the ecosystem of love that he has got. Actually, in the later part of his life, he actually has developed the entire aura. That aura has gone into him, the people's aura. What we feel, because I was quite astonished when I saw that sea of people that has come to his funeral.
Absolutely.
So, all that is not a day's work. It's a collection of events.
Absolutely.
And not only the songs, it's a collection of energy that has come to him. And Zubeen actually acted as a conduit of that energy.
Absolutely.
So that is what is the thing that he wanted to reflect actually. In Kanchenjunga, he reflected that sort of a thing.
You are absolutely right. Probably once Zubeen said that when I'll die, the people of Assam will cry for 5 days, or the whole Assam will shut down for 5 days. I think it continued for a long time, more than 5 days. That is the aura he has created probably with his work.
Actually, what I feel, what I have found out is like, Zubeen has got, with all the emotions, if scientifically, if I think that there is a big cauldron where all kind of emotions comes and pours in, lot of emotions from the people, and Zubeen has become a conduit to reflect it. It may be sadness, it may be love, it may be any kind of an anger that has come to him. He either through his songs or his events or his dialogues, whatever the medium he has chosen, he has taken that part.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Through his work, it was reflected every time. And he thought later, he does first. First he does, then he thinks later. That was his way of doing things.
Also, there are a lot of chronology of events that has occurred, because I was with him up to 1997. We were together working because in 1997 that event has happened when Alpha has banned him.
Yes.
So we all went to Mumbai. So we all went to Mumbai, we did our all things, and later on he came back. So there I find that in his life there are two phases that I have found. In the previous one he became quite famous, but he never talked on the stage. Even when he has to give a greetings to the audience, he never do that. He used to say, I'm a singer. Yes, I am a singer. I come here to sing, so he will sing. It is his duty to sing. But apart from that, later on in the second part, when he fought with Alpha, the militants and all that stuff, he realized one thing, that I have to fight, I have to be the voice.
Yes.
So that collection of the voice has come up in the later part of his life, which he actually that is why he became a vocal person.
Okay. So we have to quickly wrap up. So some limited time available. So I have got a question for you. Yeah, but quick. You just give your answer in maybe a few seconds or maybe 1 minute. you sang the first duet with him, right? It's late 90s. And the last one that you sang with him is. Yeah, that is Roi Roi Binale. Did you find any changes in his way of singing duet song? Or maybe, you know?
The last one was not duet. It's a single female.
Okay. Did you have any duet in Roi Roi Binale?
No.
Actually, you didn't have. Okay.
It's a Dusopur Kajole, it's a female solo.
Okay. Did you see any changes from the beginning to the end of his life? Yeah.
Yes, actually, I have shared the days when he was growing. He was in the journey of becoming Zubeen Garg. And after releasing Maya, Anamika and Aha was, we both were there in the individual album, Aha. So Anamika, Aha, then the first one is Kopunarpur, then Maya. I have observed the songs and actually I was observing closely the whole song, lyrics and everything. Then one day I have asked him that will you only write these romantic songs? Don't you think you have to write some other perspectives, you have some messages to give to the audience? Then he said, why? Love is the main emotion. Love is true. That's why Titanic is so famous. That's why Divine Comedy is so famous. Why are you asking this question? Then I told him that you have become the voice of Assam.
Yes.
Everyone is listening to you. So you can exploit the stage. You can exploit the time to represent the youth and represent the current situation. And you can say easily whatever you want to change in your society, and you can represent the problems of our society, and you can you can break the system also, because you have your followers and you are having the audience and the people love you.
Absolutely.
Then he said, okay, I'll write one song for you. He said one song for you, but he started his journey with Mukti, Hopto. He started Kunoria, Punera, Pojua, Poja. I have said a change by then. And now in Roi Roi Binale, I think the basic Zubeen Garg, I can divide Zubeen Garg in three
Phases.
And I know the pure soul, the innocent boy. That period was he was with me, and I can.
During his early period.
Early period, and the glamour has not touched him. He was like the pure soul. I can see him as a soul.
Yeah.
So that period, he was not restless. He was not outspoken. He was I say he was shy. Then after that he emerged as a public speaker, and I liked it, but he should have followed a control way. That's why he got some controversies through everything. And the basic nature of his music, the style of his music was there. In the first song, if I sing two lines, the first solo was female solo was Itiya Pudulite Aseroi Kono Ba Poranon Pudulite. It was like that, very melodious. And the last song also Dusukur Kajole Re Boi Jai Sukunu Re Dusukur Kajole Re Boi Jai Sukunu Re Horogi Hopunore Anto Kotarinukot Dusukur Kajole Re Boi Jai Sukunu Re.
Great. So such a melodious voice. In fact, what we got to know that he is basically a man with immense love for people. He wants to work for the humanity. So he is sending messages of humanity and love through his songs every time, right? Anyway, I'd like to go back to Pallavi. A little academic question, because you are an academician. So, in what ways do you think Zubeen Garg's contribution have shaped contemporary cultural identity and popular discourse in Assam?
Oh, that's really a tough question.
Because you're an academician, I thought maybe.
It's really a tough question. Um, when I reflected for this seminar, I asked myself what really have changed, not only about Zubeen, but about us. So it is basically this question. After and Abhinivesh Sharma, he has rightly pointed out during Parthozinda's session that Zubeen's death was more powerful. So after his death, there is a consciousness in our identity, in shaping, in authenticity, in otherwise from this reason, whatever goes through, there needs certain kind of filter because we had so much of difficult times. So I think people would reflect that who we are, what emotions we carry forward, what emotions we have gathered from our predecessors. So that's how I think that's really a tough question, but that's how I need to introspect and reflect with many theories, you know.
Maybe we'll be able to see some articles on that
Uh,
in the coming days in daily
this
newspapers.
book is killing me. It's very
No, no.
tough.
Yeah, understand. I would like to go to Abhinivesh. So, how can spaces like Museo Cafe contribute to documenting and celebrating the life and works of Zubeen Garg for younger generation?
Before that, I would like to reflect something that I learned during my research in Jorhat, where he spent some of his formative years, which is that he honed his craft to the bone. We say he was born a legend, but he also practiced a lot. He gave his voice rest for around 4-5 years, and then finally there's a lore in Jorhat, there's a person called Prabodh Das, who took him to a field in Baligaon, where he used to scream loud to test his vocal strength. So I think that is something that we need to remember, that he really practiced a lot, and then with his exposure in places like Tamulpur, Karimganj, that also played a role, and his acquaintance and his close association with his elder brother, Upal Pharma, being exposed to different kinds of music, he knew it very well that he was ahead of his contemporaries. He was a supremely confident man, and that came with his learnings as well as his practice. So when he finally arrived through Anamika, he knew that he will be able to transform the industry. And as rightly pointed out, he single-handedly changed our tastes in a sense. So Assam, compared to other states of our, the neighboring states, is pretty active in the regional film and music industry, also largely due to Zubeen Garg. Now, our generation, if Zubeen Garg wouldn't have been there, I dare not, I really wonder if we would have listened to Assamese music. Bhupen Hazarika was in the fading phase of his career back then. Zubeen arrived like a monsoon wind through a cracked window. So that is something that we need to realize. In our space called Vintage, which is a Museo Cafe, we have an archive as well. So researchers can go and stay there and also research about different topics. So one particular section of the archive is dedicated to Bhupen Hazarika, and the other one we are thinking of doing on Zubeen Garg. So anyone who really wants to study about his life and his career seriously, we will have materials there that they can utilize for their research. And I'm sure we will be able to connect them to people who we come through our cafe in terms of networking, who will guide them in their research. So that's something that we plan to do to keep alive his memory and also continue to keep him alive in our daily life.
So are you doing all these things with your personal fund?
No, this is a trust. We have built this into a trust. We were very clever. Initially, we know that we will have to generate our own revenue without the help of other bodies, so that we can retain our independence. It's very important. So we built this into a trust, and everyone has invested, all the trustees, and now we will complete 2 years this April, with different revenue units, and the archive is also a revenue earning model. So that'll actually help us sustain in the long term.
That's great. That's a very interesting idea. Definitely, I will definitely visit next time when I'll go to Jorhat, and others to also visit to that place. That's going to be very interesting. Yeah, please.
In this short period, while doing research on Zubeen Garg, I need to while doing research on Zubeen Garg, I need to acknowledge one thing. Zubeen Garg, in how he became Zubeen Garg, Zubeen Garg was very privileged, because I need to acknowledge here the contributions of Utpal Sharma. So the man behind making Zubeen Garg, I need to acknowledge this here publicly. And the friends, Joyanta Bordaloy, Nisar Hazarika, lovingly known as Donnie Da, and all the 5 friends, Rabu, Ritu, Dudu Lalap Saika, I have to take their names. Because they never they never forced, Zubeen or adapted any means to to make money out of it. Because Zubeen jikhon industry কাম কৰিছিল, music industry is such an ecosystem that profit is the first motive. So these were the first friends who kept on pursuing the goal, having music in their veins. So Zubeen was very privileged also. So সেইটো বস্তু দেখা পাইছো.
Absolutely, you are absolutely right. In fact, you rightly mentioned that there's few people behind his success. Actually, there are some people who actually helped him to save his life. In fact, you have taken the name of 5 people, but we have got limited time. I think we have exceeded the time, and people must be all.
5 people, but there are more people.
More people must be there. 5. Okay. Now we running out of time. We have already exceeded. So, but we'd like to take advantage here because we have got a beautiful singer here. If we have got time, then we can, So another question that is, as people are interested to know more about Zubeen Garg. So I have got one question for Avinivesh. Mr. Avinivesh, Zubeen Garg's music often reflects social realities and regional identity. And how do you see his work aligning with the idea of public history and community storytelling? Because I think he is a community storyteller.
Yeah, not so much in Jubinder songs compared to Bhupen Hazarika, but then he understood pretty well that the Assamese are not a homogeneous identity or a community compared to our neighboring community. So there's a different, people have come from different places and ease into the society at large. And he was a big follower of Vishnu Prasad Rabha,
Yes, absolutely.
and as well as Jubi Prasad. So he knew the diversity that went into the making of the Assamese community. So he was very conscious of this, and therefore whenever he wrote songs or sang songs, he used to be very, very clear about, when he talked about social messages, about the Brihattar Assamia Jati, which, absolutely. So he understood that pretty well compared to other of his other contemporaries. And second is, there's a very powerful album called Mukti.
Yes.
So Joyanta has already...
The words are so touching.
Absolutely. They're very, very famous songs. And this was actually a statement of, why an artist needs his freedom. So Mukti is one album that I really want everyone to listen to, every one of the songs. Also, I think Jonky too sang with him.
Hopdo was also there.
Hopdo was his scream. So that was when he scream out loud. That
The philosophy of Zubeen Garg was reflected through those songs.
Absolutely. So the 3 phases that they talk about needs to be studied pretty well. And all the albums reflect a particular philosophy of his. Be it rock, the later albums, be it Mukti, be it Hopda. I think all important albums. And also Habita Baido played a big role in his initial years. She also wrote songs for him in Anamika, which people do not know about. The one very famous song of his is Piti Kubake, which Kobita Beru's mom wrote for him. And then gradually he went, as he realized his importance as a voice, as an artist, he came to speak about different issues, be it deforestation, be it the general, the neglect that the common people face from our
Marginalized people also.
absolutely. He was very vocal, and he stood out among his contemporaries. Even not only in Assam but also in India. So that is something that really fascinates me as someone who is enthusiastic about public history. So his works, his albums, will be a big asset for us as we progress in our years.
Absolutely. And you have rightly said that we have got a lot of scope to research on his works. I think not much been done till now, so academic institutions may work on that. And I'm also really inspired because I may be also doing something on his work.
I think therefore I really congratulate the organizers because it's a very good start. It will take time to actually know the real Zubeen Garg, his contributions, but we should always make a start, and this is a great start.
And certain things we got to know today, actually we didn't get from the media. So it's some interesting facet we have got from this conversation. So that's very interesting. So I would like to come back to Pallavi again. Okay. Sir, madam, actually we were working on Zubeen Garg. So what kind of sources or the interviews or the archival material or field work you have relied upon? Again, because he is known to have connection with everyone. Rich, poor, young, old. So how did you collect? Did you keep everybody in that particular domain? Did you talk to all so that you can get some inner feeling of the common people for Zubeen Garg?
Absolutely not. When I use the word absolutely not, it means that it is not possible. It is not possible individually to deal a public figure like that of a Zubeen Garg. So what I am planning or what I have written down, the chapters, to my attempt is to know the innocent Zubeen Garg, the person in formation. And my timeline is till 2009. Till 2009. So I have gone to his relative, to friends, close associates, to Renu Hama Maido, to Hemchandra Da, and some very unknown people also like Bakhorda. Okay, Bakhorda. So Zubeen Garg, he himself don't believe in astrology, but astrology is a kind of imagination, the way he narrated. So horu elements, I cannot capture the person per se, but I can engage how Zubeen Garg has lived his life.
Absolutely.
So that's my only intention. And if I cross this limit, I'm not the right person to write a book.
No, you are the right person. Your perspective is different, and probably you are going to get something very interesting from your perspective. Thank you. Quickly, I want to know from you, sir. Recently, I have gone through one podcast, and I heard that you said Zubeen Garg has been called as a musical Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Please explain your perspective on that.
Say, musical Robin Hood, not musical Robin Hood, he is a cultural Robin Hood, you can say. That is what I said there. Because you can see he has mingled with the rich as well as the poor. He has generated the wealth from both the sides, and he even distributed to the poor whenever they required. So that can be done by a person who has got a nature of Robin Hood, balancing both. So he has been a pivot on that. Also in that point, what I have found out is like, if you see, there are facts like in his last interview he was talking about nothingness. So that nothingness, where he has got the source from, he was talking about Nietzsche. So all these things has actually come to his mind, and he became the third figure, where he was looking for himself. So that will be there in my book actually.
Yeah. That actually touched me also. Cultural Robin Hood. Probably one can work on that also issue.
One
Yeah.
more thing I would like to identify, Zubeen Garg এটা tattoo বনাইছিলে ইয়াতে Charlie Chaplinৰ tattoo it shows the human fragility. I may fall. He আছিলে
Actually, what you can find, there can be a research on that as well. He said, apart from God, he said he's a non-believer, but he's not even non-believer. He also believes in certain symbolisms. In his left hand, you will find Shiva. So what was Shiva actually psychologically? I just decoded few of the things in my book, as well as what you have said. In his right arm, that there is that Charlie Chaplin, as well as that kid. That's a poster of the kid. That movie that you have the previous speaker has talked about. There's a kid. So he loved Charlie Chaplin too much, as well as I may fail, but I'll not fall. Something like that. It's something like that. So it was his inner self who is giving him more and more confidence into his own self, because he was lost when he became a public figure. He became a big cauldron of that aura. What he was channelizing, he was getting actually brusted with that, that kind of channel where he was walking, because it was becoming overloaded. And in that overload, he was searching for, because he himself, actually in the last part of his life, what he did was he messaged each and every one of his old friends. He even connected me. I was somewhere else. He connected me. He said, "Where are you? Come and meet me." So he was actually trying to get himself in his loneliness, to identify and to validate himself that I have done. I have got so many things from the world, and I have also given. But in that validation, where am I? So that is his third figure. You can say that he has gone to a different level at the time. So that is what is the tattoos all about. He is giving a self-satisfaction to his own tattoos. So if a person who believes in symbolism, like if you find Shiva, he said he's a tribal lord. Again, if you go Manish, that Shiva trilogy, that books, so you will find that kind of a narrative. So those are the things that he actually personally pursued and followed.
Yes.
So those are the things that I gathered from.
Fact, like
I have also noticed while
Yes, please.
doing, looking to the first consolidated literature hisabe, his magazine is there,
okay.
and his father's book is there, and now a lot of books have come up, but these are not so reliable. These are
Right.
market friendly. One thing I would like to point out, Zubeen Garg had a big imagination. So he has, what I found out, he has not confined his imagination to the society, or there is no fear that what the society would think for me. So this idea of freedom in his mind, that human being can act, or if human being act like this, what would happen, he's not bothered.
Yeah, he's not bothered.
And also he is privileged to go through that road of freedom, because not everyone can have the capacity, even if they have the potentiality. Now the only other figure which from the narrative that has come up is that Zubeen Garg can be compared with Kishore Kumar. With this comparison, I don't mean sameness, but the emotional depth, and the way they, and both of these artists, the way they entered into the sensitivity pulse of the people to get the lyrics right. He always keep humming whenever he is in a room or wherever he goes. He is into himself, just into himself. He keeps on humming. Joteza, he is into himself. So this commitment to his craft has made Zubeen Garg.
You were absolutely right. In fact, whatever he did, whatever he said, there is a meaning. There is a philosophy, as John Butler has said. There are two tattoos. It has got in-depth meaning, and he wanted to convey those meanings to people. So it's not like that. Whatever he did, it was meaningless. It was meaningful. And in fact, what Dr. Pallavi said, that he was fearless. He will not think about whatever is correct. He will say he is fearless. Thank you very much. But I think the audience may have some questions, so we can take 2-3 questions. So is there any question from the audience?
I think we're eager to listen to Zubeen.
That will come back. That will come back.
No, otherwise,
I'll take the advantage of it. We'll take the advantage of it because we are going to.
otherwise people will be hungry and angry. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I think there is no question from the audience, so we will take that. Yeah, you have got a question? Yeah, please. And please reveal your identity also.
Thank you. This question goes out. I'll start this with a joke. It's really lovely to see nice Brahmin, 5 Brahmins on the stage. but the question also builds around that because I'm taking an outsider point of view on this. I'll give you a small personal example. I went to until college. I was in Assam in the comfort of my home, and I grew up in what is identified as an industrial township. So identity was very fluid. All my classmates, we had different people from all over the country. It was only when you leave home, you go outside, is when identity kind of suddenly comes up and drops upon you. I remember, and that is something which Pallavi ma'am, you said that about resisting the fixed idea about oneself. And I also found that, I remember walking down, I went to a big city to study in college. It was so big that I thought it would be very easy to lose myself. But it was in a cyber cafe. I had gone to get some printouts where the owner had asked me, "Are you related to Torun Gogoi?" And I said, "Unfortunately not." So then later on, a couple of years earlier, as you all remember, the historic Babri Masjid verdict was announced, and people from that walk of life, "Wow, badhiya kaam karte Ranjan Gogoi ne." I'm like, okay, give it some time. So my question, as I started with the joke, now we all know that he always denounced his identity. But how does the community, I'm asking this from an outsider because I'm really intrigued, how does the community view this? Because there will always be something about a kind of vicarious sense of achievement when someone of your own ilk, regardless of if you know them personally, if someone from my community, I know I'm trying to resist that identity, but if someone does something good, I would always somewhere deep down feel pride, okay, chalo apna bachcha. Something like that. He grew up with the same kind of ideals as I did, maybe. His mother probably told him the same kind of things that they told me. So how does the community view himself? And what was it about the community that he was so I mean, there are so many bad things that we know that he was in all of our communities, but how does the community view himself? How does it try to appropriate his identity? Or is there nothing as such? Is there, as Abhinivesh Das said, that does the community now view it as, okay, we will try to take his stance on the SMS identity, it's like it's a composite whole, or is there still some fragmentation there?
Should I ask? Yeah, you will come. I'll give you an opportunity.
This question is for me.
And all of you actually. Even sir, you can.
I think when I said that his death is more powerful than, Zubeen Garg's death is more powerful than he was alive, is that he unified, there was a great division in our society lately, as everyone knows, due to our politics. So I think his death unified every one of us, irrespective of caste, creed or religion. And whatever negativity we had, whatever suspicion we had, it also developed into a suspicion of some kind, gradually waned away, because he represented an ideal or a principle or a dream that everyone thinks about on a daily basis. So when we interact with each other, even in society there are different factions. I think when we gather together now under one roof, we talk about Zubeen Garg, and that seems to be a great unifying force. And whenever he spoke about unity, whenever he spoke about the politics that divides us as a society or as a community, it really, we found a voice in him. And especially our generation, which literally grew up listening to him, we relate to him not only in terms of his voice, but also of his thinking, of his principles, of his ideas that we now increasingly talk about. So I think that is what us as a generation will try to keep alive in spite of all the negativity, all the divisiveness. This is something that we really aim to do. So this is probably my perspective of how our community, our generation, views him to be and wants to keep him alive.
And cultural figures, just to add to his, in a brief way, cultural figures, they don't keep themselves confined to particular religion or sect. It makes them difficult. It becomes difficult for them then to pursue their own craft. Because if Zubeen Garg thinks himself as a Brahman, then what about his associates? Because he has to bring the essence of all the communities, sect, places, villages, to him, and then he has to fill. It's true that this Zubeen Garg is a Brahman guy, but again we see from lower caste also taking such places, pinnacle of success, Bhupen Hazarika. So we cannot make juxtapose them, because they are on the same boat. They have, because even though Bhupen Hazarika is from lower caste, he has always dealt with people from all kinds of creed and religion. So this culture always evolves. It's the present time, or the Vedas or the traditions that have brought this caste system. And India is, we cannot deny that India is a land of caste. But for artists, for public figure, they do not let it get them, gulp them. So that's how they balance it, kind of.
I'd also like to add a few words actually in this. As he told, I'm not from a Brahmin this thing, so I'm apart from that being into their own family, so I never feel that discrimination as well. But yeah, at that time in Jorhat there was, but in their family it was not. And again, culture, artists, I don't think they have got any kind of caste, creed or religion. And even if we see the cultural icons, like if we see Bob Marley and all those people, they talk, they sing songs for the people, actually. And here Zubeen also did. He actually tried to unify. Most often, that I was just listening to the other one. The other day I was watching his video. In one of his video, he was saying the aura of the people that I was just working on. So he said aura of the people. So he got the energy from the aura of the people, all casted creed of people actually. Actually everything pours into him. He gets the emotions coming to him. And in that sense, if you again I got attracted to a singer from Ceylon, actually, a new singer, a young rap singer called Rebel. And she said about the energy she feels, that energy she can. If I watch Rebel's interview, she's so subtle, so much. She was so calm and quiet while she gives her interview. But when she comes and she sings, she throws her voice, she rebels actually. So that is the energy. Actually, Zubeen also possesses that kind of energy, but not in rap sense. In his cultural formations, in his cultural creations. So those are the things that we get and we reflect actually. So that is what I want to add actually.
The question is not about his identity. In fact, we are not trying to dissect what is his caste, religion, or all these things. And when it comes to, say, cultural icon, they don't believe it. I mean, Dr. Pallavi has said, how many people know that Bhupen Hazarika is from a lower caste? It's very, we don't know this. In fact, in our culture probably, I think you people also agree, we don't know who was sitting in the right or who was sitting in the left, or from which caste or which religion. We are hardly bothered about it. And I believe that culture is there in Northeast. That is there. And I think he reflected through his work, and probably that's why people from every corner, every caste, creed and religion loved him. This is the beauty about it. Anyway, we have got one person, he is a passionate fan of Zubeen Garg, and he has been working on Zubeen Garg also. And I remember in his Facebook post, when Zubeen Garg died, after that he has written a Facebook post, and I remember the crux of it, what he wrote. He said, in his life, he became so sad twice. One is when his father died, second time when Zubeen Garg died. So he was under depression. One day he came to me also. He was talking about Zubeen Garg. He is here with me. And yesterday when I have shared the details, he said he will be definitely there. And he is there. His name is Dr. Rajiv Sutradhar. He is from Barpeta. And he has got a question. He is raising his hands. Please, Rajiv, go ahead with your question.
Sorry that I missed most of this preparation, so I'm not sure whether my question fit into this discussion. My question is about basically, I want one of you or maybe all of you can reflect on the class consciousness of Zubeen Garg. So he seems to be speaking on behalf of these poor, and he always says that I want to be with the poor man, not the rich. I don't enjoy their company. Or is he a regionalist? Because I think they don't go together. So there is no clear verdict on Zubeen Garg's intellectual thought process. So if some of you can deliver on that, thank you.
I'll just like to just interpret with your question actually. So it will be an interpretation, not a complete verdict. Actually, what has happened, what actually happens, in terms of his caste feelings and all these things, as I told you, he has got a feeling. All artists has got their own feelings. He has got his own feelings. You might not have seen how he composed songs. Actually, when he composed songs, Maya is a song, as she said about one of our band member. His name is Bhaskar Saikia Ritu. So Ritu has actually got cheated by his girlfriend. And when he got cheated, he came to his house, and when he was there in the house, he was saying, Bujiso, it was not Maya, everything is Maya. That, wait, I am getting something from that. Something is coming to my mind. And he composed the song, Maya, Maya, Matu Maya.
Composition was
No, he was the lyrics and everything. He worked on it. So Maya, Maya, Matu Maya, Tumi Jano Hosa. That was the interpretation of that thing. So that was the feeling of that person he converted. As he said, the energy he gets positive energy as well as negative energy. And in that negative energy, what he used to do as a conduit, he gave the negative energy, convert it into his creative energy, and put it in the music or cultural format. It's a conversion of energy. In terms of science, as I would say, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It's a law in physics. So it is not destroyed, it is converted. Similarly, as he has said, converting Zubeen Garg, if you see Zubeen Garg's philanthropic work, he has become a cultural Robin Hood. Where will the money come from? Where will the money come from? He generated the music. He has so single-handedly controlled the entire industry by way of his creations. That is how he was mingling with the rich as well as the poor. He thought for the poor. The feelings was for the poor. But the money has to be generated from both the sides. So that is how he actually balanced the economy. And that is where you can say he was in between, but he has got better inclination for all these things. He was a poor for the trees, for the environment, he has got that side. So that side has been a good attraction for him. But he always knew, he always abused, or he always actually talked bad about the rich. He never talked good about the rich. He knows, and only the inner circle will know the bad things of the rich. And he converted the whole thing into the poor. So you can say he is in the third angle, not in both angles. So at last he did nothing, he got nothing. He gave everything. But he thought for the poor. So he was a soul, cultural soul, who has come to the society, got everything from the society, and he guided the society. As our previous speakers has already said, like he also has, I think, mentioned that Zubeen Garg after death is quite dangerous. So this is the time that we have to analyze. Your question actually comes in between both. Thank you.
Thank you very much for explaining the question. And in fact, you are right. You have rightly said he has balanced the economy. He earned money, he distributed. He actually worked for the people. So he worked for the downtrodden, for the marginalized people. Thank you very much for this enriching session, engrossing session. We probably knew many things about Zubeen Garg, about his philosophy, about his work, about his personality, and how he grew up in a small town and became a cultural icon. Thank you very much. But before we conclude, because we have got a very prominent singer, versatile singer with us, so at least we would like to listen at least 2 songs from you. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Or you want to sing from there?
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Hopunare pokhi ahanami tumi pranare kahole mu. Hopunare pokhi ahanami tumi pranare kahole mu. জীবনে মরণে হয়নে সপনে তোমাকে বিচাৰো মই তোমাকে বিচাৰো মই সপনৰ পক্ষী আহানামি তুমি প্ৰাণৰে কাষলে মোৰ তোমাৰ আকাশত জোন হৈ জ্বলিম চিৰদিন চিৰকালে জোনা কৰে ঢল হৈ নামিম তোমাৰ দয়ালে সূৰুযৰ দৰে তোমাৰ আকাশত সূৰুযৰ দৰে তোমাৰ আকাশত উজ্বলা মোৰ সঁচা প্ৰেম আশাই নিতে আকে মনৰে দাপোনত কত যে আলপনা তোমাৰ স্মৃতিয়ে মনৰে মাজলে প্ৰেৰণাৰ জোৱাৰ আনে সপোনৰ পক্ষী আহানামি তুমি প্ৰাণৰে কাষলে মোৰ. That was the first duet. And the last song. I'm a bit tired. Please. Actually, I don't want to sing this song. I try to avoid singing this song because after this song, everything has changed. Okay, I'm trying. দুচকুৰ কাজলেৰে বৈ যায় চকুলোৰে দুচকুৰ কাজলেৰে বৈ যায় চকুলোৰে সৰগী সপনৰে অন্ত কটা দিনো. Please delete this portion. দুচকুৰ কাজলেৰে বৈ যায় দুচকুৰ কাজলেৰে বৈ যায় চকুলোৰে সৰুগী সপোনৰে অন্তকতা দিনকত দুচকুৰ কাজলেৰে বৈ যায় চকুলোৰে অন্ধ সপোনৰ সঁচা শুনি তৰে কলিজাত ঠেকেচি চকুলো নুমুচি আছো মই তোমালে আজিও ৰৈ কলিজাত ঠেকেচি চকুলো নুমুচি আছো মই তোমালে আজিও ৰৈ সৰগী সপোনৰে অন্তকতা দিনকত দুচকুৰ কাজলেৰে বৈ যায় চকুলোৰে দুচকুৰ কাজলেৰে বৈ যায় চকুলোৰে অন্ধ সপোনৰ সঁচা শুনি তৰে
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Iflu, for this opportunity given to us. And I hope everybody enjoyed this session and got to know many things about Zubeen Garg. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Manish. And it is indeed a sort of very enriching kind of experience to see both academically and personally how Zubeen Garg connected with people, his relatives and academics. Before we proceed for a break, kindly note that food is based on your lunch coupon, so those who are registered participants and volunteers, you can take the coupon from the desk. We have given a kind of iCard kind of stuff so that you can keep it as a souvenir or a memory of this program. And also this booklet that is there, there's some tasks for the participants which we are going to work on tomorrow. And before we end this session, I'd like to hand over the certificates to our esteemed speakers today. So first of all, may I hand over the certificate to Professor Manish Tishrani? Please do the honor. Can I be ready? Thank you so much. So we break for lunch and we'll be back after half an hour here. Thank you. Vidya? Vidya?
Lunch will be served in the guest house. I request everyone to please have a quick lunch so that we can come here as soon as possible. With another interesting plenary coming up by Banojit Hossain on the politics of Zubeen, and so it will be a very interesting panel. So please come as soon as possible. I give you half an hour time for the lunch. Thank you.
For me, Zubeen is Maya. For me, Zubeen
Monjai, Monjai, Moro, Monjai, Monjai, Moro, Monjai. So it's there of my life, of my mind, of my routine. We are living with physically and also emotionally. So I didn't know much about Zubeen Garg before I came to Northeast. So I'm from Kerala actually. But the moment I came here, it was I think 1 month after I came here, Zubeen Garg passed away. And the impact he had, it's just, I don't have words to express the impact he had on the culture. And I knew more about him after this. And he really was a legend.
The first time that I actually heard of Zubeen Garg was through Bollywood, through Milani, of course, because it's South Indian. And it's a wonderful song. But I started listening to his Assamese songs when I first reached here to Meghalaya, since a huge part of my friend circle are Assamese. But then Zubeen has helped a lot of people otherwise also. He is more like the national seminar conducted is really, such a good initiative because it's been like 6 months ever since June has passed in 2025, and we deeply are really sad. We are really sad because of his death. And known as the heartthrob of Assam, we really condemn the fact that Zubeen, his unnatural death, really caused us severe loss, be it in terms of not only singing, but he was the pillar of our success of the people of Assam. It's not only embedded only to Assam, but also to the world, be it India or any. Zubeen Garg, popularly known as
सर बोलो हेलो
especially Bihu time.
Just the fact that like I myself he was a very pioneer part of our
चल रहे हैं ऐसा तो ऐसे ही फेंक के नहीं जा सकते हैं नहीं तो कोई मार लेगा इसको
now when